The Knicks are not done making moves yet. According to these latest reports, the Knicks are interested in adding Omer Yurtseven to the roster with the MLE to fill the final roster spot on this team for next season. We're going to break down these latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks are interested in adding Omer Yurtseven with the MLE for the final roster spot. I have no problem at all with the Knicks doing this. I have said for weeks the Knicks have an open roster spot remaining. We still have the MLE remaining. And even though we signed Precious Achiuwa, he's on a one-year contract worth $6 million. He's more of a 4 than he is a 5. Tom Thibodeau sees him as more of a 4 than a 5. With all of those things being considered, I think it's only fair to say the Knicks are likely going to use that MLE on a big man. But not just any big man. Omer Yurtseven seems to be the target for the Knicks right now. Let's break down these latest reports here from the Strickland. Shout out to the Strickland for giving us the following information. According to them, the Knicks could be interested in Omer Yurtseven, according to an article from sdna.gr, which is basically a Greece syndicate that was writing about Omer and the interest that other teams around the league may have on him. And according to that article, they state the NBA team, the New York Knicks, are interested in Omer Yurtseven, whose name has recently been linked to these two Greece teams. And if he was going to leave the NBA, he would likely go to one of these teams. But as you do see there, the Knicks are one of the few NBA teams that are interested in Yurtseven and want to get him on this roster. And again, if the Knicks targeted him, I would not have a problem with that because we need more insurance at the backup 5 spot. Mitchell Robinson is not enough. Jericho Sims has been deemed emergency situational rotational player. That likely means he will never see the floor. And if Precious Achiuwa is your backup 5 for a consistent amount of time, it is not going to look good if you're the Knicks. You need somebody there with size who naturally plays that position, and Omer fits that role perfectly. He fits the MLE. You might be able to get him for less than the MLE. And if you sign him and you use him and he has an impact, you can use him, Precious Achiuwa, and maybe some of our other assets at the trade deadline to get another big man that you really want on this roster. And according to Ian Begley of SNY, he gives us the following report. They currently have Robinson, Achiuwa, and Jericho Sims as possible centers. Based on this, I assume the Knicks would continue to at least explore their options to acquire another big man. So even as Ian Begley is reporting here, he even believes the Knicks are going to use that MLE for that final roster spot for a backup big man for Mitchell Robinson. There are only a few remaining at this point in time. Not a lot of great names if you ask me, but one of the names the Knicks should go after because of his age and because of what he was doing when he was a rookie. I think they should give him a shot and potentially give him a chance to shine as the backup center on this Knicks team. Use the MLE, get Omer Yurtseven on this roster, and let's see what he can do. We are running out of time. If we don't sign him, it's likely he's going to sign with one of these international teams. We're going to lose the opportunity, and then we're going to have to look elsewhere. And if you look elsewhere, the names get worse and worse and worse. We're talking about maybe Bismack Biyombo, who I threw out there a couple of weeks ago just because of his defense. Defense like that under Tom Thibodeau likely means you're going to get minutes. And because he plays the center position and does what our coach likes the most, it made a lot of sense. However, Bismack Biyombo and Omer Yurtseven are not the only names on that list. There are other free agents available. We did a video about it a few weeks ago. I believe those free agents are still available now, but it doesn't mean they're going to be available forever. The Knicks are going to have to make a move. Now, I understand some of you guys in the comments, I've read some of your thoughts. You believe we already have the answer to the backup 5 position on our roster right now, or at least we could. It could be Skapintsev, who we saw in the Summer League, or it could be Ariel Huckaporty. I understand where you guys are coming from. I remember seeing those guys. They have a lot of potential, but even though they have a lot of potential, they need a lot to work on as well, too. And because of the fact that they're very green in some of the aspects that Tom Thibodeau would want them to be developed in or have a lot of experience in, I don't think they're going to see any time at that backup 5 spot. Because you have to ask yourself this question. Even though Jericho Sims is seeing the way he is developing his game and he's working on his game because he's trying to crack the rotation. And if you're asking me, I would think that Jericho Sims would probably break into the rotation first before Ariel Huckaporty did, just because, again, Huckaporty's on a 2-way contract. And even though potentially, maybe in a few years, he could develop into the center that we need, he's not that center right now. And I doubt the Knicks would put that much belief and faith into that kid without him having to prove it in an actual NBA game where they're seeing what he can do. He hasn't done that yet. I don't think he's going to get enough time on the floor next season to do that. He's going to have to wait a while. But if he continues to do what he needs to do and develop, he will become a prominent fixture for this Knicks team moving forward. But it's going to take a couple of years. The Knicks do not have the players at this point in time that they feel comfortable with backing up Mitchell Robinson. If they did, they would not be looking for a backup big right now with the MLE. If they did, they would not be rumored to be making a trade potentially for Jonas Valanciunas at the trade deadline. But all of those reports exist because the Knicks have those plans in mind. That's what they want to do. You don't do that if you have confidence with who you have on the roster. You only do that if you're looking to make a change to improve your roster. I understand the sentiments, and honestly, I love it. I love to hear that so many fans love and respect our rookies. But if we're thinking in reality here, we also have to understand rookies, Tom Thibodeau, and this Knicks team, they don't always mix. I'm not saying rookies don't play. I'm just saying the likelihood of them playing significant minutes doesn't usually happen unless significant injury happens. And I don't want the Knicks to deal with another significant injury. We've been through that enough. I want a healthy roster. The Knicks have a healthy roster. You're likely not going to see the players you want backing up Mitchell Robinson. But you may see somebody that still has enough skill to back up Robinson at the 5 spot and playing maybe 15 to 17 minutes a night. Omer Yurtseven, he's that guy that can do that for the Knicks. Very underrated. His time with Miami, I love his time there. Even though I'm not a fan of the Heat, I'm still a fan of the game. I'm still a fan of players that do what they need to do and play their role well. You see what I said there? Play their role well. You know what it takes to thrive on the New York Knicks? You come here, you buy into what Coach Tom Thibodeau is saying, but you play your role well. If you already know how to do that and you can convert that when you join the Knicks, that's all you need to do. I feel Omer has that, and I think he can do that. The Knicks need to use the MLE, get him on this roster, fill that final roster spot, and have us headed into next season with the insurance that we need and the confidence that we need at the 5 spot. We don't really have it right now. And even if you add Omer Yurtseven, I'm not saying you're going to have it at that point in time. But you know what? You'll have it a lot more after you sign Yurtseven than you have it right now. Because as we're speaking about it now, I am very concerned that our backup bigs are only Achua and Jericho Sims. And maybe Huckaporty if you want to include him in that as well, too. And remember, they're backing up Mitchell Robinson, who is often injured. I don't want him to be injured. I hope he plays a record number of games this season. But if I'm looking at his injury history, that doesn't seem likely. And that's why I'm concerned. And that's why the Knicks need to ease the concerns of everybody in the fan base, everybody who loves this team, by giving us more insurance at the 5 spot. Omer Yurtseven, he's a guy the Knicks need to look at, and clearly they are looking at, they are targeting to try to get on this team. I support that move. I'm in favor of that move, but maybe you guys feel a little bit different. Maybe you guys don't agree. Who do you think the Knicks should go after for that final roster spot? Who do you think the Knicks should use that MLE on? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.